Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. I figured you'd eventually notice.
Yeah. I couldn't find the mute button was on.
Yeah, it's all good.
We had a bit of bad luck with our Sunday evenings over the past couple of months.
Yeah.
But I'm sure in 2 weeks, I mean, what are the odds at this point? We've all had a snafu.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
Why does it say that we're streaming Resident Evil? That's weird. They have some kind of bot, I'm sure.
Metadata not coming through or something, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't do the coding for the channel, otherwise it's always been sort of just automatically saying session 5, etc, etc.
Yeah.
But maybe I should tell Ravnos that. Okay, shall we start this thing?
Yeah, might as well.
Where's Jess?
She's just finishing putting the baby to bed there.
Alright.
So she should be down in a minute.
Alright, I suppose we can start. Alright, good evening everyone. Welcome to Gehenna Gaming's Forbidden Lands campaign. As you can see, we have 2 people right now. This is a conflation of events, if you will. One player is joining us a bit later due to a late running other engagement, and that's going to be around 8:30 or 9ish. One player is putting younger, recently spawned, will become later on players to bed, so she'll be joining us shortly. And one player was suddenly and unfortunately swamped with last minute work. That can happen in the world of the real life. Just one of those things, right? But we will press ahead, because obviously since when Chris arrives from his previous arrangement and when Jess comes down from putting the kids to bed, we'll have 3 out of 4, which is not too shabby. So before we dive into and start with proceedings for tonight, just a note that this play Forbidden Lands is rated R. Consider this in playstyle something like fantasy meets Western, and by Western think something Quentin Tarantino-ish, perhaps. So a content warning for those who are have sensitivities and so on. This is not a happy-go-lucky world at all. Stylistically, it's in some ways close to Warhammer, maybe. Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, I guess. Would that be a good characterization, Josh?
Yeah, that's about fair.
I think so. Life can be short, nasty, and brutish, and there's a lot of grays in terms of morality in all sorts of various camps. No one is inherently good or inherently evil, but a lot of people are doing some really questionable things. So we'll see. Over the last little while, our intrepid adventurers... Hi, Jess! So happy to see you! Over the last few sessions, we've had some really interesting developments in Fort Riverstone. You started in Peddler's Rest and made your way over to Fort Riverstone, capturing some slavers on the way. See? Darkness. And then found out that apparently there was some strange demonic tome at work here in this town. And you seem to have resolved that problem, at least partially, by basically interrogating the Raven sister who was guarding the tome in question. And it turned out that she was in fact in league with this book that was possessed by a demon, and the demon tried to take over your senses and assault you in various magical ways, but because you have several magic users in the group who could make use of their powers of dispel and various other arcane lore, you managed to defeat the demon eventually. And the Raven sister did not like this at all, and decided to, rather than face justice, basically end her own life. And that was not something that Lady Narendra was very happy about at all, because it turned out the local liege lady and the Raven sister were lovers. Also, even though Lady Narendra, at least outwardly, seemed completely taken aback by this piece of news, very distraught, rumor has it right now that she has in fact been in on this issue. And so now we have a conspiracy to basically rise up against a Lady Narendra who may in fact be a demon worshipper. This conspiracy very much fueled by Rosalind, the halfling peddler, and supported happily by the dwarves, who don't like the high taxes that Lady Narendra are levying from the local people. And that's basically where the plot was. I haven't mentioned your foray into the Goblin Warren. The goblins were most happy to see you remove the demonic book, and you gave them the covers of the book that were still remaining after you had done the exorcism. But you were talking about possibly recruiting the goblins to help out with your little revolution. We'll see how that will go. But before we get to that, I suppose this is as good a time as any, because you have a bit of a respite now. You went back the last day. By my accounting here, we are now on the 7th of Springrise, which is the month. There are 8 months to a year in this setting. Each month is about 45 days. So we're on the 7th of Springrise. We left off at the evening of the 6th, so it's a new morning. And as far as I understand, you were going to take a few days to do some plotting and scheming and allow maybe Rosalind to use her golden tongue to turn the heads of the local populace and convince them of the righteousness of your cause in a clandestine manner, as a bit of a rabble-rouser. But that's going to take a little while, obviously, because she'll have to talk to many people. So you have a few days ahead here that you were thinking of just using to plan and scheme, and also use your experience points, which allows any viewers to have a chance to see how that works. And since we're waiting for Chris to join the action, I figure it's a good idea to spend, the first half hour or so devoted to that. And that allows us to explore the system as well for the players. So that's where we are. Yeah. Hi, Jess. I don't think you had the mic on before, the microphone on before.
No, I haven't. I've been putting my small humans to bed. So.
Yes, the newly spawned players.
Yes.
I've played using this system with my kids quite a bit. I like that it's so smooth that you can do it. Obviously, when I play with my kids, I keep it at a child-friendly rating in terms of the setting, so I don't go nearly full out the way we can do it together as adults. But apparently they're spreading the word to the other kids so I might have a small little cabal of kids playing Forbidden Lands soon. Who knows?
Our eldest is just getting to the age where she could probably run a character sheet with a little bit of help. She's fascinated in what we do. She wants to roll the dice and help make characters, and she comes in and says, "I'm the baker. I have potion cookies." And
yes, that's my my oldest is 11. So she's fine with it, and she has made up a backstory for her newly designed character, which is awesome. And she had to share it with everyone in the house today. And my 8-year-old is struggling a little bit more, particularly when die rolls aren't going his way.
Yes. And
this because 8, he's almost 8. But over the past year, how he's developed is lovely. So yeah, I think I'm going to corrupt them all and turn them all into loving geeks. Anyway,
it's not hard.
It's not hard, I know. So we are in Fort Riverstone. It is a morning on the 7th of Springrise, and there you are, and you can decide what to pursue in terms of letting your learnings kind of settle in, if you will. That's my in-character description of using your XP to develop your skills. You have some time to rest, and if you look in the rulebook, for those who are following at home, you need a quarter day of some kind of rest, something when you're not rolling for anything else, to spend those XP. And if you have a teacher, you don't have to roll for instance, if you're buying a new talent, you don't have to roll for that if you have a teacher. But I don't think Brenna and Frida have teachers, maybe. I'm not sure. This is...
I'm looking to pick up the fearsome one, the one that gives me bonuses to my intimidation.
Yes, threatening. That's a lovely talent, and I feel like it fits Frida really well.
She's a little scary.
Yes, and also just the way you've played her, that
yes.
She's leaning into her physical superiority and just in social interactions as well. So far I've been going but she's so young, so maybe she's not confident in that physical demeanor yet, and then her developing this talent would reflect that she is gaining more confidence, and that shows when she bares her fangs at people.
Yes.
So basically,
especially after the last session in her attempts at intimidating the sister.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, threatening. Then you have a scary physical presence and can threaten people to make them do what you want. Rank 1, then you can roll might instead of manipulate when you threaten someone. And of course, since your character has a very high strength rating, that will be much better than rolling manipulate.
Much, much better, because I have no charisma.
Exactly. So
I'm supposed to be scary, not smooth.
That's what threatening does. So let's see now. We had your experience points. To level up your talents, a new talent costs 3 XP, which you should have easily.
Yes.
And then you can spend this first quarter day to practice. You need to succeed with a wits roll. Now, you don't have. If you fail, you don't. It doesn't say anything about you losing the XP. You keep the XP, but you don't develop the talent yet. And then you can make an attempt every quarter day. So even if you fail the first time, you can keep trying, which means that you're not going to be permanently barred from actually being able to do the
talent.
Yeah, exactly. Develop it. It might take longer because it's not your strongest. Because with a low wits rating, it's harder to learn the new talents. But this is only for new talents. So, for talents you already have, you don't need to make a wits roll to level those up. So. For skills, if you don't have the skill in question, you must either have used the skill and succeeded without the skill level during a session, or during the session even, it says, or be instructed by a teacher at skill level 1 or more during a quarter day. So it's slightly different for those two. And the skills cost ×5. So, do you want to do the wits roll, Jessica? Let's see if it works.
Yes, I'm opening up my character sheet to do that.
Awesome. The first roll of the night.
Okay, so I just click on wits and then it's a base roll?
Yep.
Okay.
It's a foggy day today. Fog has rolled in from the lake.
Oof.
Yeah, that didn't work.
Can I push that?
Sure. You'd only have the one die, and if you do it, you're gonna lower your wits 1 step, but you'll also gain a willpower.
Sure. It's better, but it's still not a success.
You only rolled one of them.
Oh.
Because the one was a...
Why did it only roll 1 when I hit not roll?
Yeah. Only one. That's
Sorry.
Right. That's fine.
Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for.
Yep, still nothing. You have now taken 1 point of wits damage.
But hey, I have willpower.
Yes, you do.
That wits damage, that corrects with a half day of rest anyway, doesn't it?
Yes, it
does. With another quarter day's rest?
Yeah, exactly. So this is a good time to experiment, put yourself into harm's way,
challenge.
and exactly recharge a bit.
Yeah.
That's what often happens in this system when you have a chance to just do things and push yourself a bit where it's fairly safe. It's a good idea to do so.
Yeah.
It does encourage that. So basically, you've tried to scare some of the dwarves. I guess. How do you practice threatening? You're in the dwarven camp.
I guess I would take the dwarven fighter that we've been fighting with.
Yes, Hamda.
Her and I have been fighting side by side, so I would practice with her, I guess. Practice growling at her.
Yeah, and she's just like...
Yeah,
no,
that's not scary.
No. Still nothing.
Yeah.
Which probably just frustrates Frida
even further.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's this damage? Is that like a headache, or is it her confusion, or...
It's probably her frustration.
Fair enough.
She's angry now, so she's not paying attention to what she's doing.
Yes, that's a good interpretation. Yeah, so she'll be walking around and being snappy for quite a while.
Right, and like tripping, probably walking into things because she's not watching where she's going, because she's mumbling to herself and...
Who put this tent thing here?
I imagine it's much like dealing with my children.
Every parent goes through this. It is our cross to bear. Brynnar, what are you going to practice this first quarter day?
I was just actually looking at all the lovely general talents, trying to figure out something that would match.
Did we find anything?
I think I've actually, since character creation, had a fishing hook and line, and yet had the chance to do any fishing. So I think I might actually take one rank in Fisher.
Okay. Do you have survival at all?
I do. I have 1 dot in survival.
Good.
And wits is one of my stronger suits, so makes sense.
It is indeed. Yes. Brynnar is a sharp one. So Fisher, you've mastered the art of pulling fish from rivers and lakes. You need a net, a rod, or some other piece of fishing equipment. So that means that your roll for survival will be +1 when you fish. So you don't need to have the survival skill to do this, but obviously you're going to lean into that particular skill with this talent. And I'm sure that's going to help. I mean, every once in a while, right now, of course the dwarves are keeping you supplied with food, but you know, if you find yourself
eventually,
by a lake or by a river, that's definitely going to help with not running out of food.
Yeah. And then just to confirm once again, I have to do a wits check, correct?
Correct, since you don't have a teacher. Now, there is plenty of fishers in this town, in this fort. That's one of the occupations. The people here in Fort Riverstone tend to be farmers, fishers, or guards. Or, there's going to be 1 or 2 hunters as well, of course. But that's basically what they do. So if you want to go out there and find yourself a teacher, that's an option too. Not sure that you need one given your wits rating.
Yeah, I think probably maybe what Brynnar would do is just kind of leave the dwarven encampment and kind of go next to the water side there and see if he's able to kind of make heads or tail of his fishing hook and line.
For sure. All right, then let's do a wits roll. See if he manages to do that. 3 XP will be spent if you succeed.
Okay. And I'm hoping I'm doing this right. I should have went for that teacher.
Yeah. On the other hand, you do have some time.
Yeah, I'm gonna push it, and I'll take the hit to my my wits here.
Seems like a good time to do so. Yeah, that didn't work at all, did you?
Nope.
Are you gonna push? You can't push another one. It's only dwarves can push twice if they sacrifice a willpower.
Oh.
Yeah, you only get 1 push. But that means you do get 2 willpower points though, because those are 2 still damage to your wits.
Excellent. I love willpower.
I believe so. Being a sorcerer. So this morning has been one of frustrations for both of you. Do you want to press on in the afternoon, or are you going to rest up to get your wits point back?
I think I'd probably, after some frustration, I'd probably try it again. And then from there, depending on how the rest of the day needs to go, I'd probably rest.
Well, you only have the 2 dice to roll for wits at this point, so if you're not resting the second quarter day, that's all you get for trying to learn the fishing. Trying to learn the ropes of fishing. See, I made fun.
Actually, yeah, I think Brynnar actually would probably go talk to Frida and see how things are going with her training, and if she was planning on resting, or if she was planning on attempting to learn again.
Frida would totally continue trying out of the frustration.
That's fine. Let's go ahead. 1 die then.
Frida is very much the type of person who would just Keep going till she either breaks it or...
Is she going to break herself?
She might.
She might.
It's very possible. Frida's not very smart.
With 2 wits? No. Not the
so is it 1 die or 2?
It's just the 1. Because you did get that hurt and you haven't rested it up yet, so...
Nope.
Well, you can't even re-roll that one.
Nope.
So you can't actually break yourself at this point.
Nope.
Yeah.
I am just really angry.
Mm-hmm.
And it somehow doesn't make me more scary.
Exactly. Why am I not scary to people? This makes me angry. That's her day.
Apparently the wolfkin is cute and fluffy somehow.
Yeah, still kind of wide-eyed a bit because she's so young. It's one of those things. I mean, I'm sure you must have seen, videos of young dogs and so on that are trying to learn how to, interact socially with others and sort of fail miserably. They're trying to look imposing, and it just looks kind of cute because the tail keeps wagging a bit too much.
He keeps trying to growl and grimace, and they're like, "Isn't that what you do when you smile? Isn't that your smile?"
Exactly. You're smiling so nicely at us.
Yeah.
I'm growling.
I'm growling. I'm angry. Be scared. I can eat you.
And Hamda is kind of just trying to not laugh behind her mouth, and it just makes Frida even more angry.
Yeah.
That's a spiral for today. Oh,
yeah.
Poor Hamda. Poor Frida.
I think a lot of it also, too, would have to do with Hamda knows Frida wouldn't hurt her.
Yes, absolutely.
Which makes her far less intimidating.
Yes, it would. It would indeed. Is Brenner going to try again with only 2 dice?
Yeah, he's going to head back down to the wayside here and give it another try.
Alright. You do get food and water and drink from the dwarves, of course. So you don't have to worry about that for today. That's one of the bonuses of adventuring in a fort, if you know the right people in the fort. Yeah, that didn't work either. It's just not your day for learning, is it?
No, he's definitely feeling the frustration, but he's gonna try and push through it one last time.
That's brave. Collect all the willpower points.
Yeah,
2
might as
for the
well.
price of 1. Well, you could have pushed both, because you didn't fail in either.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't fail any outright. So yeah.
So you can push
Here.
both. Which means that you can get 1s on both still. That's always interesting. No, look at that! Boom! You are now an accomplished fisherman, sir.
Through his frustration, he pulls up a fish.
Yes, as he's sort of... The morning he's been entangled in his fishing rod in all sorts of ways. He's gonna try to cast that line out, and he gets stuck on something, a barrel, something in the way. At some point, he's swinging that rod around, and people around him are just kind of ducking down and going, the hook! Watch out there! And someone is just looking at the fisherman, is looking there, he's working on his fishing net, and he's just sort of shaking his head with his gray beard and be careful there before you hurt someone, will you? And in the afternoon when you come back there, the fisherman has already gone out. It's kind of foggy out there, so I don't think they're actually going out in this pea soup, because they want to be able to find their way back too.
Yep.
But they're just kind of looking at you and going, "Oh, him again."
I don't blame them personally.
But then you do throw your rod out, and you do catch fish today.
Makes sense. Fog and rain are actually the best times to fish.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That was an excellent time to do it. And you managed to sort of finally catch the signs of where the fish might be hiding. Under the boats, under the pier, nice shady areas. And, along the reed over there, I don't know anything about fishing myself. I'm just improvising. I'm sure people who are actually doing sports fishing as a hobby.
The rain and fog would disturb the water.
Yep.
And make them think that there's seed and food coming into the water, which would bring the fish to the surface.
Fair enough.
So rain and fog are actually the best times to fish.
You have caught a fish, Renner, and you can scratch those 3 experience points, and now you have the talent of fisher.
Excellent.
So at least one of you have succeeded today in developing something. But I do believe that you have a lot of XP.
It will be scary.
Yes, you will be
eventually.
Scary, eventually. Because if I recall correctly, I mean, you have gathered, it must be at least around 10 experience points. Oh, you have 4 left there. Okay, I can see what you've done.
Yep.
Yeah. That means that you could get another new talent, or you save them for like a skill or something. So, yeah, that might be a good idea. Unless you want to raise... No, raising survival would cost you 5 XP, so this is... No, it would cost you 10. 10 XP, in fact. That's correct. That seems reasonable. Frida has how many XP at this point?
7, I think?
Oh, we haven't put it down. You should have had something along the same as Brennar, I think. So, yeah, I'll put
I don't think I had as many as Brainard, though, because Brainard's...
yeah.
Dark Secret.
I'll put you to 7 there. So, have you used any of your XP so far in the campaign?
No. Didn't know how, so I didn't bother.
Right. No, because we had one session where you only got like 1 XP.
Yeah.
But the others you got at least 3 per, and we've had 4 sessions, so that's. I think
really?
you should be at around 10.
Maybe.
I'll put it to 10.
I'll take 10.
Yeah. No, because you've traveled through new hexes almost every session.
Yeah.
You've had a couple of fights.
Almost every session.
2 of the sessions at least, yeah.
Yeah.
And now you haven't invoked your pride or your dark secret, so that's true.
No.
But just going out, and you have uncovered loot from taking those slavers that gave you so much money that counts as treasure, so that was another XP. So, yeah, I think you're at about 10 or so.
Okay.
That seems to check out. We can always recalibrate more precisely later on, but I think that's where you're at. So if you succeed in getting threatening, you'll be down to 7.
Okay. I will be scary eventually.
You eventually. But apparently not on the 7th of Spring Rise.
No. It's because I'm practicing with Hamda. I have to find somebody who doesn't know me well enough.
Exactly.
Somebody who doesn't know I won't eat them.
That's
just go into town and start, yelling at villagers.
Yeah.
I probably will when we're, doing the uprising, but...
Exactly. Oh, yeah, that seems like the next step towards towards perfection, if you will. Let's see now. Right, so the evening will be spent. I mean, you can use the 3rd quarter day to. No, you're not gonna do this again. Yeah, that's fine. Otherwise, it's very.
I don't have any wits left.
Oh, right. No, well, you have 1, don't you?
No. I got a skull on my last roll, didn't I?
Yeah, but that doesn't remove anything. If
I thought it took my dice away.
no, it doesn't. Only if you push. Only if you push your roll.
Oh, okay.
You're not broken until you actually push, and that's when you take the hurt. The first roll is always for free. So it's just a fail. But you can't re-roll it. You can't push a roll where you have a 1. On the first, where you only have 1 die that comes up with a skull, you can't push that because you don't get to push the dice with hits or skulls on them.
That makes sense.
So when you only have that 1 skull die, it's just an ordinary fail.
I will try again then.
Okay, let's go. 3rd time's the charm, right?
Exactly.
You only need to roll a 6. Nope.
No.
Now, if you push that one, you might break yourself.
Okay, I'm gonna push it just because I can. Because Frida totally would. I have all night to sleep.
It didn't work. But that's fine. No, you can only push it once.
I didn't break myself.
You didn't break yourself.
And I have all night to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. And that's Frida's day, basically. She's going around growling at people and trying to be threatening, and...
Just going around yelling at all the dwarves.
People are
like,
not
what are you doing?
Yet.
Go...
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you usually hang out in the kitchen?
It has to be the case, right?
Exactly. They've tasted her cooking. She can't be scary anymore.
Yeah.
Should have turned out my cooking instead.
I can see that Chris will be joining us shortly, which is great. Perfect timing. So we'll just wait for him to log on, because then he can detail his day. And see if it gets as interesting as, being yelled at by fishermen. Though I think they were finally, quiet and accepted Brenar as not maybe one of their own, but at least not a complete klutz when he took home that fish finally. Brenar will, by the way, notice how subdued Fort Riverstone is during this day, as he is spending most of his day inside the palisade. You haven't seen any sign at all, because you're basically spending your day by the pier there and just fishing, which incidentally is an excellent way of doing some spying as well, if one is so inclined. Okay, I'll fix the overlays here a little bit, because I'm seeing Chris joining us, which is great. Okay.
Just see if my audio works.
Yeah, you're in. That's great.
All right.
Okay. There we go. No, not the right one. That's the right one. Excuse me while I just fix the overlays a little bit. It shouldn't take too long. So we have all the cameras in the right places. There we go. Welcome, Chris, by the way. How are you today? There we go. And Chris is there. And there we go. Let's get you feeding from the right camera, because that's a good idea, right? Or so I hear. Almost there. And there we go. All right, and that should do it. All right. Welcome, Chris. How are you? Can't hear you right now. There we go.
Yeah, done it. All right, there. Is that better?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, good. Went out to a friend's place for dinner, so it was nice to see people in person.
I'm sure. Yeah, and I mean, after all this social distancing spring and summer. But you are very welcome to the table. We've basically just started spending some XP, and Frida and Brenar have, well, had different levels of success for that, if you will.
I am somehow not scary. The dwarves think the wolfkin is cute and fluffy.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know if I've got enough XP to spend or not.
I think you probably have some. It's a good time to spend XP, if nothing else, because, of course, you're taking a few days with no other types of adventuring, so that's always something. Let's have a look.
Oof. I apparently have 8.
Yeah, that's probably enough for something. So a new talent is times 3. So 3 XP. If you don't have the talent from before, you need a teacher. You've done that with a poisoner talent. Skills are times 5.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a druid teacher here, so I can't learn new spells easily.
This is true. There was a druid, but she was corrupted by a demon.
Sorry about that.
Green Walker, though, Green Walker is a druid, and he might be able to teach you something, because he does have the Path of Sight.
I was looking to buff my healing.
Yeah, that's going to be more challenging.
Yeah, let me see. Well, if Fidan's not around, I should see if I can maybe pick up some scouting. That might be beneficial.
That might be beneficial indeed. That and survival are always in high demand.
Yeah, I've got survival already, so yeah. I will see if I can pick...
Who's typically doing the scouting?
Typically it was falling to Fidan.
Well, then let Fidan continue. Well, he's not terribly good with the scouting either. Because typically in this system, it really benefits if there's one person who is, when you're out hiking, one person is doing the lead the way, another one is doing the scouting, and you want to specialize who is filling that niche. And not double up necessarily.
I think I'm gonna sit on my XP, and then maybe I can buy up survival later.
Yeah, that might be a good idea, because that's gonna be 10 XP, and you're almost there.
Yeah. Or, wait. I could pick up the 2nd level of Pathfinder.
Yes, you could do that. That would be 6 XP. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll try that.
You don't have to... I don't think you have to roll for that at all, because it is not a new talent for you. So that's simply you use the quarter day to do that. And that gives you... that you're most comfortable in the wilds, and leading the way for a quarter day counts as a rest for you.
Yeah.
Which is very handy. Very handy.
Alright,
indeed.
there.
So clearly you should give Fidan the responsibility of developing the scouting, or someone who's not you should be doing the scouting and watching when you're walking.
Yeah, I'll undertake pathfinding. I've got survival already, so...
Yeah. So, I mean, let's see now, who could... Brennar is good or bad at scouting? Brennar could become very good at scouting, given...
Brennar has no scouting right now.
No, but you could develop it. You're better at scouting than Fidan at this point. Because Fidan has a 3 wits, you have a 4. Neither of you have any scouting dice at this point.
Okay. Yeah, maybe once I get some more XP to spend.
Yeah. Because that would be 5 XP, so...
Yep.
But I think that would be also logical, because, you know, you've both spent a lot of time in the wilds. I would think. You have a 1 survival there, Brennar. And in your background, you basically was a hermit for a long time, so functioning as the scout for the party would seem to line up. So yes. Meanwhile, well, just to connect back to Chris and what has happened with Frida and Brennar during this day. This is the 7th of Spring Rise by my accounting. And they basically spend their days trying to learn a new thing today. And with varying success, Brennar has gone into town with his fishing rod. And Frida has been spending her day in the dwarven camp. Why don't you illustrate this for Chris?
Okay, well, this makes it. Never mind.
So Frida's gone around the dwarven camp basically just kind of screaming at people and trying to act scary. And they're like, hey, aren't you the wolf that hangs out in the kitchen all the time? You make great soup. And kind of laughing it off. So the dwarves don't think that the 8-foot-tall wolfkin's scary at all. Some of them might have even been brave enough to try and pet her. It's super frustrating for Frida, and she's just mumbling under her breath and running into things because she's not paying attention because she's so mad.
I can't hear you now, Chris. I don't know why. Oh, there we go.
Is that better? Okay.
Yes.
Alright, so yeah, you need to stop beating them. No, nobody's gonna be scared of Wolf Mom.
At least I got my character typed out. Because Wolf Mom's kind of what I was going for.
Alright. What about you, Brainar? How have things been going for you?
Well, it was a very frustrating first quarter of the day. Went back down to the nearby docks, and most of the fishermen actually laughed at me. It was great. And then, through some frustration and a lot of headaches later, I went back down and caught myself a fish. So I guess I'm a fisherman now.
Okay, so the whole teach a man to fish sort of thing?
Yeah, I guess.
Exactly.
Give me that, I'll go cook it.
No, don't cook it. Eat it raw in front of the dwarves.
That only works when you eat somebody's heart. If I had brought home the Raven sister's heart and eaten it, that would have maybe done something. But eating a fish raw is not going to work.
I'm sure if you eat like a whole trout, head and all.
Oh man, that's just sushi.
Yeah, I'm just...
Marita shakes her head.
I got nothing. I've been hanging out in the woods. Yeah, there's no people to laugh at me, so it's great.
This is true. Technically, Marita would have a second quarter day to do something in, because obviously it only took you the 1 quarter day to raise your Pathfinder.
I will... Yeah, I'll just kind of be hanging around the camp being a busybody. Trying to help, but being woefully inadequate at just about everything camp-related.
As you do that, you will notice that the 3 dwarves, the 3 merchant dwarves, are together with Fidan, maybe, heavily engaged in various discussions on, how to proceed the best with your plans for rebellion and attending to the problem of Lady Narendra, the possible and likely demon worshipper. They haven't come to a conclusion just yet.
Alright. Well, maybe while I'm in the woods, I'll see if I can find some, stout sticks or something that maybe Brainar can fashion into spears, so if we do need to arm people, we can.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
We have very limited resources for this rebellion, so...
You do.
Weren't you and I supposed to go shopping?
Yeah, that will have to be on the Spring Rise 8th, because Frida is otherwise occupied on the 7th, clearly.
Hey, I can practice yelling at shopkeepers.
No, we need them to like us.
I could have
Okay.
Fidan roll a manipulation roll to vis-a-vis the other dwarves to convince them to be a bit more generous and so on in the collaboration. Seems like something that he would do.
Yeah, because I don't have a whole lot of coin to throw around for this rebellion.
No, I don't think any of you do. I'm going to give him a -1 on the manipulation because technically you are outnumbered. They are the more numerous faction in this interaction.
Yep.
But he does have a success, and that's really all he needs. He will be able to convince the dwarves to contribute with their raw material. As you will recall, they were trading iron ingots, and I think he's going to be greatly helped by Bodgard the Brazen, who's also young and much like Marita and Frida, sort of filled with the energy of adventure and wants to contribute. This is a bit exciting for him too, so he wants to contribute in his own way. And so once he and Fidan has had a conversation, he's gonna basically convince the much grumpier and much sort of curmudgeon-like Tribbletwine brothers to use some of the iron ingots towards basically just making some weapons. Smithing, in other words, crafting. They need a hearth. They need a smithy of some kind. They need some tools to do that. But they have the iron ingots. They can provide them, so weapons can be made.
Excellent. When we go into town, to Frida, I should pick up some more bandages just in case. Oh, look, I picked up this.
'Tis lovely, isn't it?
It is. The books are gorgeous.
Yes, they are. I am anxiously and eagerly awaiting my copy of The Bitter Reach, which I ordered the moment it was on sale in their webshop. But I know that a lot of people, because of the corona pandemic, have had delays on their Kickstarter. So I think the company is obviously prioritizing them first, which is completely logical. So I'll be patient and wait for my copy. But they are beautiful books.
It's so pretty.
Yes. And they even have the little string that you can use as a bookmark for them as well. So very handy. Yeah. Very nice.
Alrighty. Yeah. Just in case anybody gets injured during the rebellion, I should be ready.
Yes, that's a good idea.
All right. Well, since
Probably
we're
find
gonna-
myself a proper size shield too.
Yeah, well, you have a small shield at this point, because that's what they sold you, but this is true. A bigger sized shield would give you more protection. Yeah, I mean, they do have people here who can sell you various equipment, so if you want to use the next day, Spring Rights 8th, towards making some purchases and advancing your schemes.
Yeah. Do you want to come into town with us, Brainer?
Sure, might as well.
All right. So yeah, so we'll go into town and we're gonna see if we can get equipment, but also if we can kind of get the pulse of the town, how they feel about the possibility that their leader might be a demon worshiper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a good question, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yep. there might be one or two people who might be less than thrilled for sure.
Did we use that last quarter day on the 7th for resting?
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to use more than one quarter day for resting, and obviously there's 4 of them. So it's 2 of them. Frida used 3 quarter days to practice her threatening and failed miserably. You used 2 quarter days, Brennar, for your training and succeeded on the second, so I don't know what you would do with the third. And Marita just used 1 quarter day because she was practicing a talent she already had and just leveling that up. And the rest, you said you were busy in the camp, basically. So that was that day.
Yeah, so maybe we'll take pretty much the full day to do our shopping and ask around and kind of see if we can't maybe sow the seeds of discontent.
Yeah, I'm gonna simply give you Phaedon to accompany you for that, because that seems like something he would do.
All right.
Because he does have the golden tongue, so that allows you to still draw on his skills for that. So let's get back into Fort Riverstone. I'm gonna just remove Marita's token here. You're not on a stealth mission this time. You can put the token. I think you can put the token wherever you want. I mean, we're abstracting this quite a lot, of course. So we don't have to be exact where it is. But at least you can see the interior of the palisades and so on. Unlike yesterday, that was a foggy day. This is, in fact, a clear day. It's, still spring, so chilly in the morning, just above freezing, and the temperature is climbing during the day, and will struggle to get into double digits centigrade. What is plus 10 centigrade in Fahrenheit? I don't even know. I don't convert to Fahrenheit very often. I should, but I'm European.
50 something?
Yeah, something like that, I guess.
Yeah, 41 or so.
Okay, fair enough.
If I remember correctly, you double take away 10% and add 32.
Yeah, something like that. It's quite circumspect. Anyway.
Or we're all Canadian, so...
I was gonna say, that seems really confusing. Why?
Fahrenheit is weird for people used to centigrade and Kelvin and whatnot.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, it is spring, so it's freezing in the morning and still chilly all throughout all the day. But at least it's a clear day with just scattered clouds. As you go into Fort Riverstone, and it's peaceful enough. I mean, by now the guards know you really well. They don't even flinch or anything like that. There was the altercation with the Raven sister, and there might be some worry in their eyes. I'll let the best of you roll an insight roll. And since I guess that the others are supporting this effort, we'll just add 3 dice to that, because that's how it works. So who's the best of you at insight, anyway?
I got 6 over here, assuming sleep gave me my wits back.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, I've
You're
got
better
6.
than I am.
I've got 6 as well, but go ahead there, Brainard. Stare at them with your wizardy eyes.
Yeah. Phaedon is at a mere 4.
You definitely stare at them with those wizardy eyes.
Yes. Yeah, that works. You will be able to read the terrain, and you can add 3 more skill dice because everyone is helping you. Basically, you have 4 eyes, and you're all in there this morning to take the temperature on the town. You're all alert towards the same thing, so that gives you 3 extra red dice.
Okay, would you like me to re-roll that, or
No,
just roll 3 new?
Yeah, just roll 3 new with the red dice. Okay, so 2 successes. Well, you're going to pick up on the atmosphere, and it is quiet and subdued, for sure. There is very little laughter going around right now. The townspeople seem to be in absolute shock that, in fact, their trusted spiritual advisor, the Raven sister, whom, the younger people here have known her basically all their life, turned out to be a demon worshipper. People don't really know who to trust at this point. Some are going to give you a very angry eye. Like, you've upset their order, you've upset their stability, you've upset their peaceful life, as peaceful as it was with goblins to the north and saurians to the south. But inside the palisade, it was safe, right? It was the palisade. Outside is the wilds, outside are the dangers, but inside the palisade, it was safe.
Oh, wait, just wait, boys and girls, we're really about to screw things up.
Mm-hmm. And then you guys came, and now it's not safe inside the palisade anymore. I mean, we can understand this psychology now, having looked what's happening south of the border with all the people refusing to wear masks and say, don't test because then you don't find the cases. I think there's going to be few people in Fort Riverstone who react like that. It's not like it was your fault that the Raven Sister was a demon worshipper. You're just the messenger. You just discovered it. And if anything, they should be logically thanking you. But there's going to be a few there who will, they've lived with her all their life, and this was treachery. So clearly it was your fault, and she wasn't really that bad, or something. That cognitive dissonance. There will be some.
Blame the outsider.
Isn't it convenient, though? But not everyone, because at the same time, because you do have two successes, Rosalind has been hard at work and using her golden tongue to talk to people and assuage their fears, if you will, or at least direct their fears and frustrations and anger towards Lady Narendra instead of you. And she's pretty good at that. So there will be some people who are definitely looking at you like with a sense of frustration but not hostility. So that's kind of this maelstrom of different feelings and sentiments that are going on around you at this point.
Lovely.
Perfect, right?
It's almost like a civic revolt is brewing or something.
Almost. I don't already stick out like a sore thumb.
Alright, well, the people will be thankful once we liberate them.
Exactly.
Yeah, that can never go wrong.
No, not at all. Keep telling yourself that.
Never. Alright, so we need to get some supplies. We have very little money to work with, so what are our priority items?
Bandages and weaponry?
I think that's fair. Yep.
We could probably forage the rest. We're right next to the woods. We also might be able to get aid from the goblins, because Pheidon and Brainer are still part of their cult.
Just because we like to get blue, don't call it a cult.
It's totally a cult.
And it is definitely a cult.
See? The ladies agree. It's a cult.
Alright, well, if we equip the few fighters we have with spears, we can probably get those fairly cheap. Actually, we probably don't have to pay for those because the dwarves have some iron.
And let me check. I do believe.
And to be honest, once the few good fighters take out a few of the soldiers, we can probably collect the rest of the weaponry as we go.
Yeah.
Just
Can either of you use a bow?
That's marksmanship?
Yeah.
Yes. Not as well as a sword, obviously, but I can still use a bow.
I can tell you also, drawing upon all your resources here, that both Thulman Tribbletwine and Bodgard the Brazen are decent crafters. So if you give them some raw materials, I'm sure they can put together some spears. Again,
And it might be cheaper to use purchase the raw material than to purchase the ready-made bow
exactly.
or weapon.
Exactly. So if you give them, if they have a crafts station to work at, and I'm sure they can Bodgar is Pheedon can probably talk to people and make sure that. What I'm saying is, you have enough people with very good persuasive skills to be able to secure some space in a smithy or with a carpenter, so that these two dwarfs can start working on putting together some tools for you.
Okay. Is there a tannery in this village?
There would be, yes.
Okay, so maybe we can go hunting and get some pelts and get some leather.
Yeah, you can do that too. Absolutely. I'm gonna say that Bodgar and Triple Twine can do one piece of equipment per quarter day, and they will automatically succeed with a 1 success if I don't roll for them, just to speed things along a bit. Though they are. Thulman has a 7 dice, and Bodgar has 8, and that's without tools. So they're accomplished, which is not very surprising, being dwarven peddlers and traders. So they're good at this stuff.
All right. So maybe we'll see if we can get the things that we can't manufacture. So that would be the bandages, a better shield for Frida. Brainard, do you need anything for your magic?
No, I don't think so at this point, other than being absolutely frustrated. That's about all I need for my magic to come out. So, yeah.
Well,
I still have some lamp oil left, so we can set people ablaze if needed.
Okay. Well, a day or so hunting out in the woods should help us build up that reserve of will that we need.
Yeah.
You, find the animals and I can kill them?
Well,
It was also.
go ahead.
I was also going to mention too, if the dwarves need assistance, I'm pulling a 7 on my crafting.
Oh, good. I mean, that's excellent. Then you can do some crafting too.
Oh, damn, I have a 6.
That's not bad.
TIL.
Yeah. So you can basically then you have 4 people in your group here who can make things, 1 thing per quarter day, and that's suddenly, 4 spears per quarter day. You're up to 8 in a single day.
That's why crafting is strength-based.
Yes, it is strength-based, indeed.
Yeah, so if we can get the materials, we should be able to outfit the few people that we have fairly quickly.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is entirely true.
Alright, so if we can find a better shield for Frida, bandages, and whatever tools Brainard may need, like, I don't know if he needs like a hammer or tongs or whatever.
I'm gonna say that in this area, you're gonna, if you want to buy tools for yourselves for your journeys, that's absolutely fine. You'll be able to find them here. But otherwise, in this area, you can buy basically anything that's listed in the gears table.
Okay. So like if we can get crafting space, that includes tools.
Yep.
Okay. So we don't have to waste money on those. I mean, spend money on those.
Well, if you want the crafting tools for later on your journeys, you'll have to buy them. But otherwise, you can borrow some for now.
Yeah. Does Frida already have a bow?
No, I have a long spear, I want to say, because we tried a bow and a bow didn't work very well for me.
Okay, well,
Something about it couldn't fit in my paws.
Yeah, if we're going to go hunting, we should get bows or slings or
Yeah, I was
spears.
throwing spear.
Oh, okay.
It's technically the same skill. So.
I borrowed a bow and I failed 6 times with it, and then I got the throwing spear and it worked for some reason. we blamed it on the bow being too small for Frida to wield.
All right. So yeah, I think the I think the main thing is we'll get the bandages, we'll get the shield, and then we'll go out and start seeing if we can get the raw materials that the dwarves need to make some spears, maybe a couple of bows, and maybe some leather armor.
Yeah, I can practice growling at squirrels.
You can.
We're going to need a lot of squirrels if we're going to be making armor.
For a spear, you'd need half an iron and a wood. For a throwing spear. For short spear, you always need half an iron for all the spears. And then it depends on how long the spear has to be. But if you want to go out into the woods and chop some wood, literally chop some wood, I mean, that's a thing you can do to build resources here.
Yeah, we're going to need to go get some wood, and we're going to need to hunt down some animals for their pelts to take to the tanner.
Yeah, so going by the carpenter, let's see now. I was going not by the carpenter, I was going for the lumberjack. The lumberjack produces 2 units of wood per quarter day's work in the forest. So I'm going to say that you could do that yourselves. Basically, you go out to the forest. It's not a roll or anything. And you spend a quarter day there, then you have 2 units of wood. So that's something you can do. Or you can just buy the wood inside the fort, because there are definitely people who can sell you wood. And that is not terribly expensive. But for people of limited means, maybe the time to build and harvest things is better than... Because one unit of wood costs you 3 copper. And of course, if you spend that quarter day, then you have 2 units of wood for free.
Yeah, I think we're at the point where we have to watch every copper.
Mm-hmm. That would make sense.
So yeah, maybe if we spend like a day at the market getting the stuff we need.
Yeah.
Or I guess 2 quarter days. Then we'll go back. We'll have some supper. And then the next day we'll hit the woods. We'll spend that day getting the wood so that they can start on the spears.
Wood and leather.
And then the next day we'll go hunting for the leather. Maybe, or maybe we should do the leather first because it's going to take them more time to make.
Yeah, that could work. And you have 3 days and something. I mean, you are the ones to decide on. And also, I'll remind you, you haven't yet spoken to the goblins about coordinating. You were planning to talk to the goblins, but you haven't actually done it yet. So that's something to consider as well.
Marita and I can do most of the hunting, and I can do most of the chopping down the wood and stuff. While Fidan and Braynar talk to the goblins, as they've got the most relation with them.
Yes, they do. Fidan can be your messenger to the goblins.
Yeah, that works for me for sure.
Okay, I was gonna say, because I'm assuming for the hunting, I mostly just, your scouting is far better than mine. So you spot them and I'll shoot them. And as for the chopping down trees, I'm gonna assume that's mostly a strength-based...
No, it's not a roll at all. You just spend the time.
Okay.
As long as you have an axe, you can do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright, sounds like we have a plan.
Yep. So spending the day in the fort to get your equipment. Let's see what you're gonna buy. What do you want to buy in the fort?
Some bandages and a better shield for Frida. Braynar, you said you didn't need anything?
I'm good.
Right. And actually, maybe if there's little like trinkets or shiny things, maybe that Braynar and Fidan can take to the goblins. I don't know if that would work. I don't know anything about goblins.
I don't know if any of you know too much about goblins. the halflings in these parts, they are ready to sell you what they need to sell. No, I don't know if there's anyone around here who knows too much about goblins. They're weird, and sometimes they come in and are blue.
Hey, let's make a lore check.
You can do that. Who is best with lore?
6.
Probably Brenna.
I think maybe Fidon might be better with lore. Nope, he has 5 only.
Yeah, I only have 5.
Okay, then Brennar is the lore master. Whoa. Alright. You will know this. The blue thing has to be part of their cult, obviously. You would think that it's a sign of distinction and honor that only their bravest warriors get to smear themselves blue when they're naked and go out to do raiding. You know that they are devoted to the moon goddess Eor, and that she is a goddess of chaos and mayhem and trickery that can be very harmful to people who are not part of the cult. Which means that yes, goblins can potentially be absolutely vicious. It can be very, very dangerous to be close to goblins. So far, you guys have lucked out. Maybe because, Frida showed her martial prowess really early and made them scatter. But they
Damn
are...
goblins are scared of me.
They're not... I don't think goblins will go against you one-on-one, let's just say. Yes, that blue paint is probably a part of the devotion to Eor, the moon goddess.
Maybe you can find some pretty moon-like trinkets.
Which also suggests that you and Fidan have been blessed by a goddess of chaos and mayhem.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, that tracks.
Bandages, you said, is about 6 copper? Yep.
Yeah, I'll buy 3.
What did the rest of you want?
I want to try and find a shield that actually fits me.
Well, I mean, the small shield fits you. It's just small.
I imagine on Frida the dwarven shield probably looks like a dinner plate.
Yeah, it fits the dwarves. For you, yeah, a large shield, that's going to be expensive. We're looking at least 15 silver.
Oof.
Yeah.
Okay,
And the
I
small
will
shield is 6
investigate
silver.
it to look at it and see kind of what it's made of and if I can recreate it, I guess.
It's
than
absolutely
selling it
possible
to
to do
cash?
some crafting. You would need to craft this. You will need a smith and a tanner and a forge, basically. It
Hey,
can
all
be-
the things we're getting anyway.
It can be done in a day.
Okay. I will see if we can set onto that and do that at a raw material instead of shelling out 50 silver.
Well, again, there is a forge in the city, so that can be used. I have a feeling there's going to be a bit of a, take a number, get in line to use the
Yeah.
smithy. It's going to be a very busy place, and the farmer who has the forge in question is going to be a bit, weirded out by all the people, the dwarves and the wolfkin who's entering the forge to ply their trade. But you can go in shifts, I suppose.
Sounds good.
Taking turns there, heating up the metal. The sound of hammer against anvil going during the day. Is this something you're going to do today?
No, I think we have to collect the raw materials to do it first.
Yeah.
Because I'll need the hide and stuff.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you'll need For a large shield, you need 2 leather, you need 1 wood, and 1 iron. Now, the iron is going to be supplied by the dwarves.
But I'll need to get the wood and the leather.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you would need, again, the person who's making the shield in question needs the smith talent and the tanner talent. If you're not making it yourself, you will need to ask someone kindly with that talent.
Yeah, because I don't have the smith and tanner talents.
Well, you know, the dwarves around here might just be able to help you out with that.
They like me. I cook for them.
You cook for them, exactly. So, yeah, they might be able to help you out with that, for sure. Not sure that any of them are particularly good at tanning as such. That you might have to ask around in the village for that.
Yeah. Alright. So we're gonna go gather our raw materials and hopefully not die hunting.
Before you get there, this is going to be in the midday. You will notice that in the early morning, sort of mid-morning, there is, or I'm going to say just before lunch, to be more precise. There will be commotion by the palisade gates, and you can hear the sound of many hoofs. In fact, there is a group of riders of some kind approaching the palisade.
Oh shit. I will find a place where I can watch but not be seen.
Roll stealth. I'm going to give you 2 skill dice bonus for that because there's so many people around. So it's not particularly hard for you to hide. I have a feeling that you might want to push that.
Yes, I do want to push that. What's it?
Hold on up here. Hold up here now.
That works. You now, for some reason, I'm going to say that you're taking a bad step. You're sort of stepping behind a series of barrels or maybe one of these market stands, and managed to twist your ankle a bit as there was suddenly just a depression in the ground that you didn't pay attention to properly. So you're going to be a bit limping after this, but you do slink into the shadows, and you get 2 willpower points.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Yeah, I step on a rotten apple core and slip, twist my ankle,
Yeah.
curse under my breath.
But I think you will be happy that you did so, because from your little hiding spot you can see that there is in fact a group of riders. They're leading their horses in. There's 4 or 5 of them. And judging by their clothes, they're definitely Athlenes. They have these rider pants, they have the tunics with a lot of patterns over them. They have their typical caps. What do you call the with a little sort of fold that comes down in front, and
Shit.
they have some of them have woven into their clothes little ornamental pieces of metal that shine nicely in the sun. Very Athlean in short. And yeah, they are oblivious of your presence. They walk past with their horses. They will be armed, you will notice, with 2 of them have bows that are in these scabbards for horsemanship, for horse archery. They have spears. Some of them have swords, but not all. And they will be heading towards the stables. which is
Looks like our lady friend called in reinforcements.
if 4 or 5 riders can be called reinforcements, yes.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, I should not be here.
Yeah, you're fine.
Why?
You're not sure if he's the leader of this group or not, but he has long black hair and black sort of beard and mustache, slight trim of black beard along the chin, and looks incredibly grumpy.
They always do.
Yes, well, not necessarily. But he's not alone again. So, yeah, they're going towards the stables there. They have passed.
Are the stables far?
No, it's basically where the so-called tavern is.
Okay. I will mosey that way and perk my ears up to try and listen into any conversations they're having.
Well, I mean, not too far from the tavern, you will have your good old friend Ochro sitting around doing his, basically he's begging. He doesn't have an income source around here. He comes to your fire with the dwarves to have some food and drink every day now that he's been accepted or at least is tolerated in that camp. But otherwise, his days have been spent sitting around and listening, which might come in handy down the line. But he's sitting there again, and they will be passing by him very closely.
Alright. Once they have passed, I will ask Ortho if he heard anything while they were passing, if they may have mentioned why they were in town.
Yes, he says. They did say. They want to speak to Lady Narendra. A pressing matter, apparently. I do not know what they want to speak to her about. But that is why they are here. Should I ask them? Should I tell Fidan to ask them? Fidan is good with words.
Yeah, maybe. Don't do anything dangerous, don't do anything to get them upset, but knowing why they're in town is very, very important.
I see, yes.
They could be helping or hindering our cause.
I think Fidan might just offer to talk to them. I mean, he has a way with words and has no particular reason to fear them.
Rainer would probably walk over too. What's the worst they can do to a frailer?
Yeah. Yeah, you're going over there towards the tavern. It's you and Fidan. And you can see that 2 of them are working over towards the keep. But the rest seem to simply install themselves in the tavern. And they're sitting there by a table, and they've ordered in a flagon each and drinking a bit. It's 2 of them. The third seems to be taking care of the horses for now.
Okay, so it is.
So yeah, they're sitting there and having a chat, which means that you can go up to them and have a chat if you want.
God, no.
I was referring to Brenner and Fidan, of course.
I was gonna say, I think we'll let Brenner and Fidan
Do the talking,
that.
Yeah.
Marita seems quite skittish about them, and I'm not the best person to have a chat.
Indeed. Yeah, no, Fidan will. Who's best at manipulation between the 2 of you? I think Fidan is, really.
Done.
Yeah. So he'll lead the way and use you as a support, in other words, which gives him a bit of a bonus. Whoop, there we go. That wasn't too shabby. he will lead the way, and oh, good morning, travelers, he'll say. This is not as well traveled as it used to be, I understand, this place. But, judging by your clothes, you are not coming from the west, more likely from the south or east. Is that so? What tidings do you bring? And they're looking up, they're noticing a handsomely, groomed dwarf with very good manners, who's approaching them in a friendly way. And they seem easy enough to talk to. And seeing someone who comes from the west, as Fidan does, they can always exchange some news. So this they will. They're basically saying that, we come with some good tidings for all. And now one of them is kind of raising his voice a little bit. Finally, the time has come for all free peoples to stand up against the Rust Brothers. This summer is the time for that. You will join us, no doubt, dwarves of the mountains. For too long have the Rust Brothers terrorized our peoples. But Zertorm is gathering an army now, and we come here to bring these tidings to Lady Nerindra so she can join in the struggle against those nefarious oppressors and slavers. We will not submit to them ever again. What say you?
Down with the slavers.
Exactly. Couldn't say it better myself. We have spent much of the winter at Amber's Peak. And now finally, the weather is turning, the seasons are turning, and so our horses will ride to battle once more. We pray to our God that this will finally be the time when we can liberate these lands once and for all from the scourge that is the Rust Brothers. Horn will stand us by. You agree, of course.
Raynar would just actually nod his head. Because Raynar's deity is not Horn, but he agrees with down with slavers regardless of whom.
Hmm. Have you ever been to Amber's Peak? Asks this Asleen again.
I don't think I have. Whereabouts is it located? North from here or further south?
Southeast. South and east.
Ah.
Yes. Follow the rivers. And you will get there. It took us... Is it 5 or 6 days since we rode? I've lost count a little bit. If you do not have horses, then clearly it will take longer. Stay away from Falender on the way. It is a cursed land. But Amber's Peak, you see. It is home for us now. As much as there is any. You know, they whisper about Zertorm. They say that he was one of the first generals of the monster Zigofer. But he was disgusted by the villain's tyrannical rule and joined the Elven Spring of the Eastern Forbidden Lands to fight his former master. When the fleeing horse people arrived during the wars, Zertorm allowed us to stay on the plains. And we joined him in the struggle against the Rust Brothers. He is a true ally, and powerful in his own right. We don't see him much, though. His magical flames burn around Amber's Peak. They say that he's trying to tame the fire itself, to turn it against Citera. But, well, It's not always nice to have those fires about.
Well, should myself and my compadre here happen to go southeast, we'll definitely stop by Amber's Peak. Pay our respects.
They say he burned himself when he was working on these magical charms, so he's wearing a mask now to hide the burn. But don't let that fool you. He's an honorable man, and he will surely lead us to victory. To victory! And they raise their goblets, and everyone is sort of clashing together. Yeah, that's about what you're getting out of them at this moment. They're very animated by these prospects to go to war during the summer.
Yep. And probably enjoyed the fact that they're able to rest after 5 or 6 days of horseback.
Yep.
Excellent. So yeah, unless Fidon was looking for something additional, probably go back out to meet up with Frida and Marita and give them the good news that they're not here to necessarily help the revolt we're against.
No, if anything, exactly, they seem to be wanting to recruit some of Lady Narinda's soldiers to join the mayhem this summer.
That'd be great. Maybe they'll take some of them away. In the meantime, I would like to not be around them.
Well, that's easy enough. You can just not be in the tavern at this point.
Yep.
Of course, going into the forest and chopping wood is also a way to avoid them.
Yep, so that's what we'll do. That's what I'll do anyway.
Yeah.
Do the thing. I thought we were doing the hunting first. Do you want to do the hunting first?
Sure.
I mean, you could, after having bought these things, I could. It's easy enough the rationale that you spend the first quarter day doing the purchases, and then the second quarter day into the forest and starting your foraging and whatnot.
Yep.
Excellent. Yep. I just don't want to be anywhere where I might be spotted by them.
Okay.
For reasons. No reasons.
Sure.
So Brainer is going to stay back with the dwarfs, and if it's cool with the DM, I'm going to go ahead and learn how to do smithing as one of my additional talents that I have XP available for.
Oh, that's very handy. Jack of many trades, eh?
Might as well.
Why not? I will allow it.
Just doing my wits here.
Yeah, one of the Trimble-Twine brothers is going to help you with that. Might not be the nicest teacher you could ever find.
Thought you didn't need a roll if you had a teacher.
This is true. You don't have to roll if you have a teacher.
Even better.
Yep.
Yep.
This will be, I believe, Thulman, who is the better crafter. Double check that. Then you're spending the day in the inside the palisade, because that's where the forge is. The dwarves do not have a portable forge, even though they have a lot of things.
Makes sense.
Oh, I do eventually need to get a portable kitchen.
Yeah,
he's off to the woods.
Thulman will be showing you the ropes for how to be a smith, and teaching you everything about the different things in the smithy. Now, one of the reasons he's doing this is mostly because he's bored out of his wits. And he's really grumpy and just wants to get away from Fort Riverstone. And throughout the entire showing of all these things, I mean, he's the younger Tribbletwine, and you've heard him whine before. Yeah, that doesn't stop. He's looking. Are you calling this a hammer? A hammer? This hammer? Look, it's useless.
Learning
Bad
from the
balance.
best.
All the more
You're-
reason to get into the goddamn woods.
You will ruin your elbows using this for more than a week, I'm sure. Ugh, these peasants.
Excellent.
And you call this a bellows? A bellows? You know how my
Hey, Marita, let's go see
grandmother
if we
can
can
make
find a
more
deer.
wind than this when she breaks a wind.
Yeah, it seems like Brainer has found a true kindred there.
And that's a sampling of how this younger Tribbletwine is teaching you. Somehow something sticks anyway. I'm not sure how, but it does. You learn these are the tools I need to do smithing for. You're probably not going to be the best smith around, but at least you know your way around a smithy.
Awesome. Thanks.
Alright. So yeah, Frida and I are gonna go out into the wilderness.
Indeed. And what do you want to spend the time? You can be in there 2 quarter days if you want. Before you have to
I
go back.
thought we would start with the hunting first so we could get the tanning started.
Yes, that's a good idea.
Marita, if you want to do the scouting, once I have the scent, it's a lot easier to track.
Yeah, I can do that. See if we can't find like a deer or wolf or something with the pelt. No squirrels.
Yeah.
I'll yell at another wolf, that's fine.
Yeah, at some point, you might want to take another quarter day to become threatening.
Yes. I will be trying that again.
But not right now.
No.
So, you are going to
Practice with hunting first.
do some hunting.
Maybe if I eat a wolf heart, they'll think I'm scary.
Maybe. I think you're scary.
At least
So-
somebody does.
Someone has to find the prey, so that's a survival roll.
That is Marita.
And, hunting instincts does help, yes.
Does it?
Yes, it says so right here. I have to go back here and look at your kin talent, because I have to remind myself.
How much survival do you have, Marita?
6.
Okay, it still doesn't give me more than Marita has. I only have a 2 survival. Even if you add the hunting instincts, I think it only gives me a 3.
There must be a scent to follow, is what it says, and the number of willpower points you spend equals the number of days that you can follow your prey's scent, and in combat all your attacks against your prey gets +1 bonus per willpower spent.
Right.
Until the creature
So
is broken, or you choose to let your prey go.
if Marita makes a survival roll and spots it for me, then I can pick up its scent once I know what I'm looking at,
Yep.
and then mark it.
Okay. I will see what I can find.
Indeed.
You want to push that?
Absolutely.
Yep, that didn't help, but you didn't get any hurt either, so that means that you just don't find any prey this quarter day.
I guess I'll take a look around. So I don't get a dice for the hunting instincts?
It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that.
Okay.
Let's see now. But only one of you is doing the actual looking for the prey. So if Frida is helping out, that gives Marita another red die.
So roll another red die.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. I think I did that right.
And you'll push that too, of course.
Yeah.
There we go!
Hey!
Finally!
One success.
That's all you needed. That means that we roll for what kind of prey you find. That's another d6.
Okay.
Go ahead, you can roll that one.
The higher you roll, the bigger the animal, basically.
So it's just one?
Yep.
And does it matter what color?
No.
If it wasn't for your help, I wouldn't have found it, so.
You find the magnificent mouse.
Ooh, a mouse.
A mouse is what you found.
I can't push that.
Nope.
Well, you know what? I'm going to snare it anyway. I had to look all over hell and high water to find this thing.
Obviously, the goblins have scared away all of the prey.
Now it's time for marksmanship or survival if you're using a trap. So you decide if you're using your spear. The poor mouse.
Do you want me to spear the mouse?
Can you spear the mouse? Because I'm pretty sure I can snare it.
I will try to spear the mouse. If I can't spear it, you can snare it.
Well, if you can't spear it, it will run away. But you know what? Go ahead. I want to see you do this. I have faith. I have faith in you.
I rolled the wrong thing, but hey, I hit it anyway.
I mean, that is a hit.
It wasn't marksmanship, I hit the wrong button.
That's fine. I mean, you killed the mouse.
Killed the mouse.
With
Woohoo!
your spear.
Is there anything left of the mouse?
Bob.
Mouse kebabs.
It's a mouse kebab. It's worth 1 meat, and it does not give you any pelts because it's too small.
If it's worth 1 meat, it's at least a pretty big fat rat.
Yes.
Oh boy.
A rodent you found.
Yes. It's probably more like a gopher. They're a little bigger.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, we should make our way back to camp and sleep.
As you wish.
You need to go yell at
I think-
things.
Oh wait, was that 1 quarter day or was that the
That was one
second
quarter day.
day?
You could use another when the sun is setting.
Yeah. I am bound and determined I am going to find something other than a mouse.
I will continue to assist you.
Of course. There we go. That is other than a mouse. We don't know that it is other than a mouse, but what this means, since you have 2 6s, is that you get to roll 2d6 on the prey table and pick the highest one, or the one that you want,
Yay!
which is usually the highest one.
Okay.
So instead of rolling 1 die on it, you now roll 2.
So we have 3.
That
They're
was
both 3s.
Both 3s. That's what you find. You find this time a rabbit. And that gives you actually, in fact, a +1 to your hunt roll. So if you want to use a snare, or if you want to use the spear, you get a +1.
Go ahead.
Awesome.
You've been doing great so far. You need to practice more anyway.
Okay. Nope,
That's marksmanship.
Yeah.
A full dice pool this time with a +1, so you get an extra red die.
Okay.
You've got this. I have faith in you.
I have a success, but I tripped getting it.
No, if you don't push the roll, you're fine.
Okay.
So
I'm assuming 1 success will hit the damn rabbit.
1 success will hit the damn rabbit, and I mean, how much strength does a rabbit have, right? So I'm gonna say, had it been a
Probably
boar,
went right through its skull.
yeah, if it had been like a boar or something like a bear, that would not have been enough to bring it down. But this is a rabbit we're talking about, so that's gonna be
Now we have mouse kebabs and rabbit kebabs.
yes. And the rabbit kebab, in fact, gives you 2 meat and 1 pelt, so you have your first pelt.
Yay!
Excellent. All right.
That's your glorious hunting expedition, which took 2 quarter days to complete, yielded you 3 meat and 1 pelt.
All right.
That you bring back.
Well, so yeah, we'll make our way back to the camp.
That was God's awful.
If you want to, for the next day, you could also both go out hunting and roll hunting rolls, and thus have more prey coming in. But then again, that's survival. You can roll survival without having much in the skill. So it's up to you how you want to combine that.
Okay.
But for Frida, of course, since she is low on wits, her survival roll is absolutely terrible. So it might be
Yes.
better to just have her back up Marita, like you've done.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know if this is enough pelts for anybody to turn into leather.
Well, yes, it would. One pelt turns into one unit of leather. It's very simple.
Oh, excellent. All right. So in that case, maybe
You just
do I
need
need
a
the
tan
dwarves
for it.
here? Do I need the dwarves to do tanning, or do we have to take it into the village?
I'm gonna say that you'll have to take it into the village.
Okay. That'll be a tomorrow thing.
That'll be tomorrow.
Okay,
Yes.
can we give that to, oh god, what is her name? Chatty Cathy.
Rosalind?
Yes, can we just give that to her to go get turned into leather?
You can absolutely do that.
Like, can't we just use these NPCs as messengers?
You can, for sure. Rosalind would be happy to. That gives her another excuse to talk to people
Exactly.
and, convert them to the cause, which she's doing every day.
Perfect. All right.
They're better at doing the talkie-talkie than the
Yes.
8-foot wolf.
Yes, they are.
All right. So as we sit around the campfire eating our hard-earned kill,
Yep. Frida can
They made
cook it.
rabbit stew.
Yes, Frida's done rabbit stew. You have here 3 meat. You can convert all of them to meals.
So I will
That
make...
will take a quarter day though, so you'll probably hang them and because it's late, you want to sleep now, and then in the morning you can cook them and turn them into meals.
Yeah.
Brennar, meanwhile, you've been still in the fort, I suppose. You've been working hard with the Triple Twine brother to learn smithing. You will have noticed that more travelers have arrived during the day. Specifically, a small group of 4 elves coming in with boats from the north. Well, basically, they have pelts to trade from deep inside the forest, and also some wood. And they are doing that. They're coming there to trade, and they will, in fact, engage with the dwarves to trade some iron for pelts. They're very nice pelts.
Nice. Yeah, so I'd probably go ahead and advise the rest of the crew here and find out how long they're staying in port. And then possibly, if we haven't used all of our iron ore at that point, we might be able to go ahead and converse them also to trade for some additional pelts for some of the iron that we might have need.
They would be happy to make a trade.
Yep.
They are... Again, this is Bodgar's forte, really. He's the peddler. They have... So, going back to the gear, typically one... Let's see now, because we have lists for that too. There's everything here. You can trade your raw materials. So a leather is typically... so a pelt, I would say, is typically worth 8 copper, whereas 1 ingot of iron ore is worth 4 copper. So now they have iron instead of iron ore, so that's a silver. So they'd have to make a trade to match up the value of the pelts for their iron, and that's going to take some finagling. But yes, there is an exchange rate that you can do this.
Okay. Yeah, so we'd have to figure out how many iron ore. How many iron ore did Tolman and Brodgar advise that they were giving towards the cause? I can't remember.
I don't think they said an actual sum, but I'm gonna say, how about 10 ingots straight away? That should that allows you to make quite a few weapons out of that. And that's again, it's not ore; it's the actual iron ingot. You can just
Ingots,
melt it
yeah.
down and start working with it.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, I
Let's
think if
start with
anything, yeah. So I think if anything, maybe what we would do is take. I don't know how many pelts we actually need, so I'd probably wait to go back and talk with with Frida and Marita to figure out how many pelts we actually need versus how many ingots we need for some of our weapons and such, and then kind of go from that. And then from there we can actually go back and trade with the elves at that point.
Depends on how much armor you want to make, and leather armor. And some of the items, some other items will need leather as well. So again, making a shield requires some leather because you need to have the rawhide for the shield, and also for the straps you need some leather for that. If you want to make a leather armor, that costs 2 leather, which is the same as for a large shield in this system. If you want to make like studded leather, that would be 2 leather and half an iron. So it really depends on what type of equipment you're trying to make. There are some ranged weapons, of course, that will require leather, like bows and such like.
Yep.
Some melee weapons you want to use leather for the hilt for a sword, for instance.
Yeah.
As a wrapping for the grip, and so on.
Okay.
So it depends on. You can use leather for a whole bunch of different stuff.
Right, perfect. Yeah, no, I'd probably, like I said, I'd probably converse with the rest of the crew to figure out, and then from there.
That brings us to the 9th of Spring Rise, by my reckoning.
Alright. Do you want to come into the woods with us, Brainer, or do you want to go talk to the goblins?
Friedan and myself probably could go ahead and talk to the goblins and see if we can make some type of arrangements. Do we know of an actual date that we wanted to do this? Like,
you haven't decided firmly yet, so it's still up in the air.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that if we can plan it around the moon for the goblins.
How close are we to the full moon?
That's an excellent question. I don't think I put down what moon it was at the start of the month, because these months are not based on the moon cycle. I can remedy that quickly. I'm gonna say that this is very close to a full moon, in fact. Yes, the way I rolled it. You could have...
Makes sense.
Yeah. This would be something like 3 days left to a full moon.
Okay.
Can we get this together in 3 days?
I was just going to say, can we forge it all in 3 days? If so, we can tell them to be ready by then.
We'll be as ready as we're going to be, I think.
Okay.
That works.
So, wood chopping next?
Yeah, wood chopping?
Yeah, at least that way we can get them started on the spears.
Okay. When we do the wood chopping, Mikkel, is it? I am big and strong. Can I make an endurance roll to get some extra?
It wouldn't be endurance, but I can allow you to roll might, I suppose.
Might?
Yeah.
Okay,
Which is
same
still
thing.
strength, right?
Yeah. Well, they're both strength based.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And I can allow you to get an extra unit of wood per success beyond the first one or something, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, why don't we spend the morning getting wood, and then we'll see if we can hunt down some more pelts in the afternoon.
So I got 2 successes.
Lovely. That means that you get 3 wood instead of 2. How about that?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I figured Frida's huge. It
She
makes
is.
sense that she's able to
Leaning
cut a
into
little
it.
extra.
Yeah. No, I like it. That's makes sense.
Alright. And I'll just get my normal 2. And then we'll hunt for pelts in the basically in the afternoon.
Yep. That means that you have gathered 5 wood between the two of you, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. And Brennar and
That'll-
Fidan are going to the goblins this day?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a bit of an expedition. I think we have to pay some attention to that. You'll be arriving there just before noon to the goblin warrens. By now you know the way. And the goblins know you as one of the champions. They will... as the 2 champions have arrived, so they will open up their gates for you. They are asking what you want. What is your errand, O champion of Eor?
We're looking to see if you and your kind can help bless us with, along with the goddess of air, to take the encampment here at the next full moon. The one nearby that seems to be a plague against yourselves and us.
Very well. We shall bring you before the wise one.
Excellent.
You've been before her before.
Mhm.
Before, yeah. Velatula the Silent will see you. The champions of Eor.
We bow in respect.
Yeah, she's again you're brought before her. They're not taking you deep inside the tunnels because being strangers. But she sits there again in the same place by that little bridge and receives you and looks at you with her in this very low light, in this very dim light. Only some small torches are lighting the way for the strangers, so you can see something. Her gleaming beady eyes are looking at you. What brings the champions back?
Velatula, thank you for seeing us. We'd like to get your assistance in respect to your goddess, Air, and our goddess. We are looking to see if you and your kind can help us purge the city below of the monsters within.
More monsters within.
Mm.
You brought us the tome. Is the place not exorcised?
The tome was only one part. There's another that leads the city that I believe also needs exorcism.
As she's speaking, it might be just the bad light, but it seems to you like her teeth are really, really sharp. Let's have, because Fidan is the one with the golden tongue, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to add a die because you're there to help. I'm going to remove a die because what you're asking for, because this is, again, we go back to social...
They totally have the numbers.
They have the numbers. Let's see now. They have the numbers, so that's +1 for her. This could cost your opponent a lot, theoretically. I mean, you're basically asking them to join in the rebellion, and that could cost goblin lives. So that's -2 for you, because you're asking for something dangerous. They do have something potentially to gain, based on your argument, that they're ridding this area of evil. So that's a +1. And you have helped them before, so that's another +1. Yeah, let's see you make the argument. That you could net a +1 on this if you present the argument well. Had the evil not been purged, you say, she says, and she's looking at you with astonishment in her eyes.
The evil within the temple in the city was purged. The demon himself was removed. But the owner of the encampment, the owner of the town, allowed the demon to reside there, allowed worship to the demon. That is whom we're looking to get rid of now.
I sense you speak truth. You speak truth. This owner, this person, this power.
Lady Narinda is her name.
Lady Narinda. Bad neighbor, that one. Bad neighbor.
Yes.
What do you propose that we do, eh?
On the full moon, all we ask is that you cause chaos for the encampment. In the most respect that our goddess could have. And during that time, we will be doing the same and attempting to rid her from this encampment. We're hoping with your efforts and with our group, we're able to remove Lady Narinda and exorcise her from this location.
Yes. Yes. Cause chaos under the full moon to the blessings and sacraments of your, it seems, a holy cause. I'm gonna roll. See if she gets convinced by this, because of course she knows if it's a holy cause or not. You are merely... oh, look at that. Feed on. Yep.
Thank you, Vidon.
Exactly. With 4 6s. He is absolutely... anytime sort of you're describing this, Fidon will compliment and elaborate and embellish and ask questions of Velatula on, is this then not a holy cause? Is not the mayhem itself on the midnight a holy sacrament to Eor? Will this not be the ultimate way for your champions and warriors to test themselves and reap a task of holy of the Holy Spirit of the Goddess, to bring a blessing upon your people for years and years? And this gets Velatula very fired up, clearly. She is very enthusiastic, and soon enough, you're standing in a cave with goblins who are all chanting, Eor, Eor, Eor's champions, to the fort, burn, rend, steal, take, eat.
Yeah, it's not at all a cult.
Not at all a cult. Eat their flesh.
It was cool up to the eat their flesh portion.
Eat their flesh, rend their clothes, tear their fort, burn their wood. Yep, you've fired them up now.
Excellent.
Apparently they're not going to eat your flesh. So there's that.
So yes, we thank them very much and mention that we will see them, if not sooner, during that evening, and appreciate their devotion to chaos.
Indeed. Let's see now. I'm just going to have a quick look here. Velatula will perform a sacrament for you. She will, particularly for you, because you are a sorcerer. She throws her bones on the table, and She doesn't have any particular things belonging to you, so she can't use that. But she does. You can notice that she's in fact weaving a spell about you. I see, she says, and she looks at you. I see that you are one used to living alone for many an eon. Yes, I could see you in the past, in your hut. Surely the goddess herself brought you to us now, at this time, breaking your hermitage for this purpose. The stars have aligned. Go forth now. We will come when the full moon comes.
Brainer bows and respects and heads back to which he came.
Yeah, that's interesting. Now you will be able to count on the help of small army of goblins. That's gonna help you.
I don't know if it's good or bad. They talked about burning down the fort, but
Yep.
at least it was something.
It's yeah.
Well, if the fort's burnt down, they won't be charging taxes anymore.
The dwarfs will be happy.
So it's a win or a messy win.
It could get messy, yes. It could get messy.
Alright, so after spending the morning collecting wood, Frida and I are going to go hunting.
Mm-hmm.
And we are hoping to get some big game.
Yep, okay, let's have a look at that. Hunt.
You know what, can I push it to try to get more successes?
Yes, you can.
I will do that.
You will, of course, hurt yourself a little bit, but
Yep.
that might be worth the prize. Mm-hmm. 2 successes. That means that you, well, now you have taken a little bit of hurt. But on the other hand, you have 2 rolls on the prey table.
Why don't you roll the prey dice, Marita? You might have better luck than I have.
Rabbits and mice.
Ooh,
Ooh, a 6.
told you.
Indeed. Okay, it says like this. You roll multiple. If you roll multiple 6s, you can roll on the hunting table once per extra 6. You cannot go back to a previous result. But obviously, if you roll that first 6, you're not going to roll again. So
Yeah, the 6 would have been the first one, I think. I think that's the way
Yeah.
the dice roller works.
so basically, you find yourself a deer, which is a very nice find because it's a large animal that is not necessarily terribly aggressive. I.e., it's not a boar and it's not like
No.
a bear. So, yes,
Let's see if I hit it.
indeed.
Alright, oh, look at that!
That is a hit.
It is a hit.
Let's see now. If I recall correctly, deers might have slightly more than.
Do I need to push and roll again?
If you want to cause more harm, yes. Animals, there we go. So a deer has a 3 strength, so you need 3 points of damage to bring it down completely. You have
Do I still have all 5 dice, or do I go down to 4?
you go down to 4 because you already have a success. Don't forget your equipment dice here. You have for your throwing spear you get a +2, so 2 black
yeah.
dice. There you, okay. And roll the 2 black dice again for the first roll as well.
Okay.
there you go. So you had 2 successes. It does.
I probably broke my spear.
You will. It's gonna be a bit nicked, if you will. What's the damage rating on a spear? I think it's a 1, isn't it?
Damage. My spear does. Yeah.
Because we
One
haven't put
damage.
in the damage there. It should be a 1, I think.
Yeah.
So you do 1 point of damage plus an extra. You do 2 points of damage on the deer. It's going to be very hurt. It's not going to be dead, but you can use a willpower to track it down easily enough before it
Yeah,
bleeds out.
and I will use the willpower to track it. It's probably pretty easy if it's bleeding.
Yes, it's very easy indeed. You have taken a point of hurt to your agility, and your spear is now a +1 until you repair it.
Okay.
Because it did get a little bit nicked.
It
I
is
guess.
mainly my hunting weapon, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone with craftsmanship can repair that.
Yes. That's right.
So you will be able to bring down the deer eventually, I'm going to go with. And that is a nice indeed catch, because it gives you 5 meat and 3 pelts.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
So at that point we should head back.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that gives us enough belts. How much leather did you need for your shield?
2.
2?
So we have 4 total.
Yes, you do.
All right. How much does it take to make leather armor?
2.
2 leather, yeah.
All right. So we could make 2 sets of leather armor then.
One-
We can make my shield, and,
And
one
one
set
set.
of leather.
Oh, right. All right. All right. So, and that leaves us with 1 leather left.
No,
Ah.
that's all the leather, because the shield requires 2 leather, and the leather armor requires 2 leather, so that would be...
Yeah, we have 4
Right.
total.
Yeah.
Right. We have 5 wood. Right. Never
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 wood.
All right.
But we can always trade iron ingots for pelts if we wanted to with the elves.
Yes,
We
you
also
can.
now have 5 meat plus the 3 we had yesterday.
Yep, so that's 8.
So we have a large amount of meat too.
Frida, you will need to use a quarter day today to cook some meat, because otherwise that meat from yesterday will get spoiled.
Yeah, I will turn yesterday's meat into a stew, and I will begin the process of smoking parts of the deer and doing basically dismantling it and turning it into different types of rations.
Yeah, you're going to have excellent, nice, juicy meat here for a few days.
Yeah.
Which is much better than, stale old bread and other sort of things from the storage over winter that is very hard on your teeth and might not taste a whole lot.
And Frida will totally take the deer heart. That Frida will claim that for herself.
That is very reasonable. As you get back to the Dwarven encampment, and for Brennar and Fidam, this will be a little bit later, because going to the Goblin... Well, I guess, time-wise, hunting versus going all the way to the... I'm not sure which one takes longer. You will hear an interesting rumor, though, among the dwarves. Apparently, while you've been out in the forest over the last couple of days, or sort of locked into the smithy, this is what they say from inside the town. The big piece of news this early this day, a new Raven sister has arrived in the fort, which has sort of made everyone. This is probably Ochro that tells you by the evening as you're sitting and partaking of some of that lovely meat that Frida is bringing. The stew. Yes, there's a new Raven sister. She's very old. She arrived day in the morning, and everyone is very happy, it seems. They needed someone.
We should check her out to see if she's yet another demon worshiper, or if she could be persuaded to side with us, and that would get the rest of the town on our side.
One would assume not every Raven Sister is a demonic worshipper.
The Green
No,
Walker
but if
sitting
they're all
there-
coming from the same damn source, and Lady Lorinda's the one calling them in, they might be.
I beg your pardon, Frida. Raven Sisters are most virtuous. This aberration that
Obviously, not all of them are.
one fallen Raven Sister. They are
That
pure
managed to
heart.
corrupt the entire goddamn government within the city.
Well,
By
the entire
seducing the
one
lady.
person.
But surely another Raven Sister from somewhere else is pure of heart.
Well, it depends on who called her in.
We should talk to her regardless. And Greenwalker, I think it would be good for you to go ahead and meet possibly another Raven Sister that hopefully won't be as tainted.
I agree. I will happily go with.
But the downside is, assuming Brainard fills us in on how things went with the goblins.
Yeah, sorry. That's iterated out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can't really call this off now because there's going to be a bunch of ravening goblins hitting them in like 2 days.
I think this is a holy war.
I'm not terribly comfortable with this, to be honest, as Green Walker. A disturbance, a diversion, that is one thing, but mayhem. I understand that we have to check Lady Narendra and certainly exorcise all evil in this place, but most of the villagers here are surely good, honest, hardworking people who revere, who are devoted to the gods, to Raven and Flo.
You really live up to your name, don't you, darling?
But we have to protect them, don't we?
Well, we could tell the good townspeople to just kind of lay low. The guards and Lady Lorinda will have to go deal with the insurgents.
And lock your
And
doors
then
at
after
night.
everything is done,
We should probably do that, yes.
Yeah, to that point, we could tell them to all go to the temple.
Assuming the new Raven Sister's on our side.
Well, yeah.
I'm gonna,
well, it's a chance,
since
it's
this
a
is
chance for
kind
her
of
to
a,
prove herself.
since this is kind of a council, I'm gonna assume that Rosalind, as a co-conspirator, is there as well.
Yep.
Well, my good friends, I can tell you, I'm very pleased that I think that I've been able to persuade many of the locals of the pressing need of our adventure. And of course, they understand that sacrifices might have to be made in different ways, that it will be a short, tumultuous time, but it is needed. Because Lady Narendra will not go willingly, and she will probably harm people before she allows herself to be unseated from power. So
Well, I
some
think we can
damage
we can get
is
the
not-
townspeople into the temple.
I could agree with that, yes. And possibly I wonder if we could convince some people to maybe be away from the fort.
How
That
many
sounds
people
like-
can we shelter here?
The Dwarven brothers are looking distinctly uncomfortable at this suggestion. Shelter here?
Yes, shelter here.
I don't think this is much of a shelter. There's a couple of tents and a campfire.
I agree, says Thulman.
But it's away from the fort and away from the goblin.
First of all, we have no protections here. And second of all, a lot of humans walking around in the middle of my tent?
You don't need protections if the fight is focused on the fort, and nobody's going to be walking in your tent. They'll mostly be sitting around scared.
Yeah, Thulman is very unhappy with this idea. But then again, has Thulman ever been happy with any of the ideas?
No.
if we succeed at this, you don't have to pay taxes.
This makes his older brother Merble happy. Fullman will complain no matter what. But Merble will be a good deal happier, indeed.
Alright. So maybe Rosalind and Fidan can work on getting the innocent townspeople to safety, either in the temple or outside the town.
Yeah, at least the women, children, and elderly, the ones that aren't going to be able to fight.
Rosalind is very happy with helping out with such a venture. It seems like it seems like the type of good that she can do. Obviously, she will not be wielding swords or being in the front lines, given her stature and complete lack of habit of swinging such things. But her two porters, her two carriers, she will happily lend to that venture.
How well trained are her porters? Like,
they're big and burly men, so maybe not as well trained as Frida for sure. Not as well trained as Hamda, but they can probably punch some teeth.
So they can throw their weight behind it, but no actual martial training.
Not much, no. They might have one or two in melee, as far as you know. You haven't seen them fight yet, but just judging by how they move, you've seen a lot of that.
Yeah.
No finesse, but they're gonna pack a punch just by their size.
Yeah.
Which is probably why she hired them.
Oh wait, Ortho, you're sneaky, right?
Yes.
So, if I was to concoct something, would you be able to maybe get it into the guards' morning porridge?
I could do that, yes, if you have enough.
Okay.
I can try.
You thinking of knocking them all out?
Yeah, or making them hallucinate or something. Just something to give us an edge on that.
Almost like they'll see little blue goblins or something.
Yeah.
That'll probably scare them shitless just to start out with.
Right.
Almost.
So that's gonna take me pretty much an entire day to brew up.
That's fine. I want to practice being scary some more.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so we've got 2 days until the full moon?
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright.
This has been the 9th, so we're getting to the 10th the next
Yeah.
day.
And the full moon is the 11th?
By my calculations, yes, it would be the 11th, exactly.
Okay. So tomorrow we'll gather more raw materials to hopefully get enough spears at least for people.
Yep.
And then the 10th.
How many do we have now?
We have 4.
Okay.
Actually, tomorrow I gotta brew up the poison because I need that to go into the porridge first thing on the
11th,
morning of the 11th. Yeah.
Okay, well, I can spend half the day getting more wood, and then the rest of the day practicing my intimidation.
You will be able to notice, just as an addendum, that the elves have they seem more comfortable with tents and what have you than inside the fort, and they've also made a small encampment. They're not close enough to hear what you're talking about, but now there are 2 camps outside the fort.
Hey, Marina, you should go talk to them.
Trading.
Yeah.
You should at least trade with them.
Do we have anything we want to trade with them? They
I
have
don't know.
pelts.
Go be sociable.
I was thinking, honestly, I'd go visit a very old and frail new Raven sister in town on the
Yeah,
10th.
that's the next day. Yeah.
Go be sociable people.
Will Fidan come with you, or is he doing something else?
I think he could come with, and obviously we take Greenwalker too.
Yeah. Greenwalker being a druid cannot hurt at all. Whereas being a sorcerer can in fact hurt, because Raven sisters don't particularly like sorcerers at all.
That's funny.
Yeah, they are kind of breaking the laws of nature with their sorcery, unlike the druids who are working with the gods. with their magic.
That's right, old man.
Yep. That's how they view it. It's what the sorcerers are doing is unnatural. What the druids are doing is completely natural.
I'll just let Dean Greenwalker and Fidan do most of the talking, that's all.
That's fine. Yeah. I mean, if she can't guess that you're a sorcerer, then you should be fine, right? She would, if she's experienced enough, which, if she's old, she probably is, she should be able to peg you as a frailer, though. And that could give the game away, because frailers have a notorious reputation for being sorcerers. This is, of course, because of that legendary evil sorcerer known as Ziggler in the times immemorial from before the Blood Mist. He kind of gave all frailers a terrible name because he used to, you know, worship demons and summon demons and stuff like that. So, yeah.
It's that whole broad strokes thing again, right?
Yep.
You know?
So that's a thing. But yes, I
Didn't you
suppose
recently tame a demon?
he did bind the demon. Yes, he did that.
Alright, so then the next day on the 10th, I'm going to brew some hallucinogenic poisons.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Do you have all the ingredients you need for that?
I do, I just need herbs, and I bought a bunch from the other Raven sister.
Yes, you did. Okay. Then let's see now. That's poisoner talent.
Yep.
So crafting to concoct potions. So yeah, you use your crafting skill then. That's basically what you do.
Yep. I'll be like, you know, bubble, toil and trouble.
Exactly. Yeah, it actually succeeds. You can't push that. You're not even allowed to push it because you can't re-roll any of those dice.
Yep.
But it succeeds, and that's all you needed. You don't hurt yourself for that because it's the first roll. So yes, you have now created a poison of basic strength. What was the type of poison? It was hallucinatory, right?
Yeah.
You have one dose of such a poison at this point. That will take your quarter day.
Question.
Yep.
Would one dose be enough to like mix into oatmeal to have some effect on the guards? Like I understand it's going to be greatly diluted.
Yes, it would be greatly diluted indeed. I'm going to have
Or would I?
to make some kind of call on that because it's an unusual way of doing it. Typically, one dose is for one person. They might have like a -1 on their skill roll for having like being slightly dizzy. It's like I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just looking for enough to impair them as opposed to take them out of the equation.
Yes, I understand that that's what you want to achieve.
Because if not, I'll take the next quarter day to brew up some more as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna see. So hallucinogenic potion does exactly what poison does exactly what to. I'm gonna have to look up in the rules again just to make a judgment call on that. But I'll get back to you in a moment.
Yep, no problem.
So here we go. Hallucinogenic potion. Take 1 damage to your empathy each round until you are broken. It's not going to be that bad. If you're diluting it for, you know, a meal of 10 people, they're not going to take any damage to their empathy. I might give them a -1 to their skill roll for being a bit dizzy in the head.
Yep, that's fine.
But they're not going to have like full-on hallucinations and see strange things. It's more like they have eaten some edible cannabis or something and are feeling a bit of a buzz.
Yep, that's fine.
I might want to since it's 10 people. I might want you to brew another dose to achieve that as well, because I feel like it's a lot of people to poison.
Yeah, no problem. I'll just make the roll now.
Yeah. There you go. Oh, and that's a stronger one too.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be enough. Two such doses like that, it's going to be enough to give them a -1 on their skill roll because they feel a bit of a buzz or nausea perhaps in their head.
Excellent.
Perhaps this potion is affecting their ears, so their balance is
Where'd it go?
off center.
Alright. So nobody drink these.
Nobody drink these because woo.
I don't drink anything you make.
That's probably for the best.
Fidan and Brennar Greenwalker are going into the town again, which means that we get back into the fishing village. We're no longer in the woodland camp. Yes, you will notice, in fact, a shift in mood and atmosphere. People are definitely... I should say they're less angry towards you now. There are fewer people who are snapping at you as you come in. There's more a sense of anticipation. You know, when are you going to deal with this? That kind of sort of attitude towards you. Some of the guards there are looking at you as you pass. What's happening? We hear rumors. What is? Is it true that she's being corrupted by a demon? Someone is whispering to you, one of the guards, as you walk past.
So the guards whispering that to us, or they're talking
they're
amongst
whispering
themselves?
to you. You found the demon, didn't you?
The rumors might be true. I'd watch your back.
An ill time this is.
Hopefully this Raven sister can assist us.
Aye, let's hope. She comes at the best possible time. Raven herself must have sent word for her. And yes, you will notice that there is a bit of a crowd around the temple to Raven. And in the middle of this crowd, people have come and they've asked for guidance and advice. Sits an old lady dressed in very much the same vestments as Miss Alda used to have. You can see those raven feathers tucked in her belt. She has a very wide-brimmed hat that keeps her face out of the sun. Not that there is a whole lot of sun today. It's again a foggy day, colder than yesterday. In fact, this early in the morning, you can see that some of the puddles of water have been frosted over with ice. So it's the weather took a turn. It's a northern wind coming in from the snowy mountains up north.
Winds of change.
Yeah, winds of change. But there she sits. Her skin is dark brown, leathery, really wrinkled from years and years of being out in the weather. Her eyes are bright and very alert, though. And she's sitting there, and she has that gray, it's mottled sort of gray black hair, maybe a bit curly, but very much salt and pepper, and shifting towards white as she's talking to the people there, and sometimes laying a hand on their forehead. And "May Raven bless you," she says. She's only like half her teeth left after a long, long life. And perhaps some scars as well from adventures maybe in her youth. But yeah, she's sitting there, and you'll wait your turn, of course, as others or supplicants are coming. She's blessing them with the water of flow. That there's still a bucket there. It's almost empty by now because so many people have used that holy water, but there's a little bit left. And eventually it becomes your turn. She looks up at you and Oh, you do not seem like you're farmers. She's seeing Green Walker's druidic vestments. Now, Fidan obviously doesn't look anything like a farmer, nor do you. That's interesting. And it is at this point, as you get close enough to her, that you will notice that she has yellow eyes.
Yellow eyes. Can I make a lore check to determine, like, do I know of any any race or any kin that typically have yellow eyes? Or if she might actually, like, it might be something medical at that point, like she's blind or something like that.
Yeah, you can make a lore check, yeah. Far as you know, you've never heard of anyone who would have, like, any kin that would have yellow eyes. Maybe some wolfkin, because they draw upon, but yeah, no, not really. Yeah.
I'm gonna try and push it. Just because curiosity.
Never killed anyone, you know.
No. So, an extra one.
An extra one. You'll have to search your memory a bit. Maybe it's just a medical thing?
Yeah. It seems odd enough to be noticed, and odd enough for me to start thinking of it.
Yeah.
Or Brainer start thinking of it, rather. But he definitely takes as a takeaway of his first impressions. So then, yeah, Brainer probably speak up, or I guess Fidan probably would. And introduce ourselves, I guess.
Yeah, you can do that.
So, yeah, Brainer would introduce himself. Hello, I'm Brainer, one of the locals here, and this is Greenwalker. He's also Raven's sister, and my friend here is Fidan. We all wanted to compare respects as we heard there was a new Raven sister in town.
Green Walkers. I'm of course not a Raven sister, as you can see. I'm not a sister, but I do walk the path of the Elven Spring, and I hope that one day I will be able to go to Pelagia and join my brethren there, the other druids, and so Raven sisters. I've heard so many good things of your sisterhood, and of course you must have by now heard of the tidings about your predecessor here. And he looks down, and I'm so pleased to see another Raven. You come at the most auspicious time. Thank Raven for your presence. So he's ready to just accept her right there, and she looks at him like a wayward son, perhaps, and there's the type of face that she's making, the smile that she's giving you, it's like a trusted grandmother who meets her grandchildren for the first time in a long time, and is just so pleased and proud of them as well. She's exuding that type of warmth to all of you. Though maybe it would be closer to a mother for Bryn, or him being very old. Yes. Raven herself must have carried me on her wings without me knowing it, for I had heard nothing of this troubling story before I arrived. But here I am, and I will, of course, do my duty by the people and bring Raven's wisdom to whomever I may.
Mikhail, can I do an insight?
You can absolutely do an insight.
Between the eyes and, well, Brainer's,
The
doesn't
eyes and
necessarily
the aura
believe-
and the...
yeah.
Yeah, no. Don't trust that. Don't trust that BS. Yo, yeah. It's a success.
A success.
You can push it.
You can. I will.
All the willpower.
Sure, I'll push it. Why not? So, 2 successes.
I roll very not well. Wow. Okay. In fact, if you push, I can push. There we go. You had 2 successes. She has 3.
Awesome.
You're looking into each other's eyes for a while, testing each other's mettle and strength, and trying to see through into each other's souls. And as you're doing this, you're noticing that those yellow eyes are putting up a very effective shield, and then peering into your soul.
Uh-oh.
And it's like looking into a wall, basically. Unreadable. She may indeed be this very warm old
No, she's
grandmother.
No, she's
doesn't
not.
trust her at all.
She's another goddamn demon.
Or she's very good at hiding whatever her errand might be. But you
Fair
do feel warmth. You would trust her at this stage.
Okay.
What was the last question again? Sorry, we got a bit off track there, but this test of will was important.
So I think what it was just Greenwalker explained the situation,
Yes, indeed.
and then from there it was the
Oh, she
her
will-
going ahead and saying that she kind of came out of thin air and
Yeah,
Raven
she
guided
will-
her.
She will say, I heard that there were some new arrivals, adventurers they call them, who brought all this to light and finally vanquished the demon. May that have been you? One of them were supposed to be clad in green. She looks towards Greenwalker. And he's ready to just sort of melt into a puddle. I may have had a hand in it, yes, but Brenar here, very skilled. We must... He is a sorcerer by trade, but he used his powers for good. Well, that is good to hear, even though that the path of the sorcerer is one of violence against the order of nature, says the Raven Sister. My name is Marta.
Nice to make your acquaintance, Martha.
I am very pleased to make yours. You seem to be making a name for yourself already.
Well, to use your words exactly, even though to be a sorcerer is maybe to have an abomination against nature, even more so is demons. and I do not stand by idly whenever there's demons involved.
Indeed, indeed. Wise, wise, yes. We must be on guard for their ilk. I hear the most strange rumors from the villagers. Many of them have come to me this morning and asked me for advice, for they say that their lady has been led astray by the demon as well. Is this true? They also say that there might be deliverance at hand.
I do believe that it is true.
I did not
Yes.
expect such a turmoil in this place when I came. What of the tome? There was supposed to be an evil tome. That was the tome that the demon resided in, was it? I've heard so many different versions of the story. If you could clarify, maybe, if you were there.
Yes, unfortunately, once we vanquished the demon that was there, the tome simply went to ash. There wasn't much left of it.
I see. Yes, that may be... That sounds like the tome itself was simply a vessel for the demon to reside in. I have had some experience with their ilk in my day, and I can say, banished one or two of them as well. So would you say then that the demonic infestation itself has been exorcised? Are there other demons in this place? Was that the only one? I will help you if I can, of course, with what little knowledge I have.
An investigation, I think, is still being taken place, and the villagers here probably share the same feelings as myself, but Lady Narinda possibly could be working with demons.
Oh, yes.
And to be frank, if she is, then that's something that may need correction. And Braynar is not shy on his words in public now because of everything going on. So he will probably say this in earshot of anybody listening, including guards.
Correction. Well, there are lessons to be made, of course. If she's been led astray, perhaps we should go inside, she says, speaking of the guards. I can give you a blessing if you wish.
Sure. And he gestures over to the rest of his party and goes in.
Yep, everybody's going in. The doors are still open, but you're further away from guards and thus out of maybe immediate ear's reach. She will, for the sake of appearances, light some incense and use some maybe sage and give you a cleansing that way with some cleansing smoke, lavender as well. Yes, correction, you said. What does that mean precisely, young man?
Removing her from power, Martha, to be 100% frank.
Yes.
She's not treating her villagers well. She's holding people wrongly captive. She's been residing with demon worshippers. And she refuses to allow trade here in the region without overtaxation. I think all of these reasons, mainly the demon, is a great reason to remove her from power.
Well, I know not much of governance, I'll say. But it seems to me that you're making a good case. If she has been corrupted by demons, I'm sure the villagers here will benefit from someone else ruling in her stead. It is not for me to say who is the rightful ruler of this place. I'm merely a raven sister trying to help the flock, if you will. But if I can help you with my capacities as a healer or as someone who can give you advice on various things, then certainly I will.
Well, when the opportunity arises, we may need your temple to shelter the townsfolk, so none gets harmed amongst all this.
Yes.
It could be as early as in the next day.
I will say that as a Raven Sister, I am more proficient. Well, healing is not my speciality, but I do commune with animals, and sometimes walk in their form as well. That might be helpful for you in some capacity.
I need to save more XP up now.
Yes. I will be here in the Raven's Temple, of course. But if you need me, I will be all ears.
Well, thank you very much, Martha. It was very nice to make your acquaintance, and may Flo bless you.
Raven's blessings go with you, son. No, you're all leaving with a very positive feeling that this person is deeply trustworthy, but also can use considerable powers to your help. In your aid.
Yeah, I don't trust her one bit. But
Well, you haven't met her yet. But as you leave, Brennar and the rest of the group, and go back towards the camp, I don't know, the dwarven camp or wherever else your path is going to take you, you will finally remember. This is when you have left her presence and got out into the streets, where you've heard the rumors about yellow eyes and you know the lore about yellow eyes specifically. And I will give you that legend, in fact, in your journal. And I will do so now. You should be able to read it. Starts with an M in your player journal. No one else will have that. It's just for Josh.
Should have burnt it down while I had the chance.
That's an interesting reaction. And it is now 11 p.m., so we're about
Told you
to...
not to trust the old bat.
So we're about to wrap up for today. Interesting cliffhanger there with Joshua getting an interesting piece of lore that suggests that maybe everything is not entirely on the up and up with the old Raven sister, but who knows? We are at the 10th.
You can share it with the party.
The next time.
Exactly. The 10th of Spring Rise. We were at the first quarter day, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll make a note of that. And
Don't kill her until I can shapeshift it.
exactly. And that will be a wrap for tonight. And then in 2 weeks we will reconvene and see how the rebellion will go. All this planning, I don't even know if we get to the rebellion quite yet, because you still have a lot of crafting to do, and potentially learning threatening finally, if Frida will get there. But
Somebody will think that I am scary, goddammit.
somebody will finally do that. But that will be for next session. Thank you everybody for who tuned in. It was a pleasure having you here tonight. We'll see what they find out about this strange new Raven sister. Surely all Raven sisters can't be bad.
Yes, they are.
Just a bad track record.
Maybe.
Just in this town.
Just.
Maybe it's the temple. Maybe we just need to burn the whole fucking temple down.
Maybe.
Maybe. We'll see.
I will see you guys next time.
Indeed.
Thanks, everyone.
See you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.